The Eddsworld episode Pinheads contains a number of references to The Big Lebowski, a 1998 crime comedy that predominantly features a bowling alley. There's one poster here, one poster there, and John Goodman's character walks through the background of this shot right here. That's just one of many film, TV, video game, and literary references in Eddsworld, and today we're going to be naming one reference in every Eddsworld video. For the most part, we're going to be skipping shorts that are under 2 minutes, so going backwards, the next video chronologically is Surf and Turf Wars Part 2, which has a reference to the Stanley Kubrick masterpiece, Dr. Strangelove. The missiles fired by the Navy are labelled Hi There and Dear John, in reference to the nukes carried by the B-52 bomber in the movie. There are so many other references that I won't be able to include in this video, so let me know your favourites in the comments below. The Chronicles of Santa features a bunch of Santa portraits, including one that bears a resemblance to The Nightmare Before Christmas. Zombie Picnic features Brooke from Mad Mutants, a webtoon created by one of the episode's animators, Jackie Lopez. Surf and Turf Wars Part 1 has this shot of SpongeBob and Patrick dried up on the beach, similar to how they looked in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Slippery Slope ends with this shot of Matilda in the snow, which is identical to this shot of Jack in The Shining. This is another reference to a Stanley Kubrick film, and much to my delight, it will not be the last. I'm skipping random because that's a collection of shorts and not an episode. I'm gonna do that with all the compilations from here on out. I'm sorry, Tom's Tales. I'm also not including The Birds and the Bees because that one's not an Eddsworld episode. It doesn't have the word Eddsworld in the title.
Everybody look at this week!
The Beaster Bunny features Team Rocket blasting off again, as seen in many a Pokemon episode. In Casting Call, John T holds a copy of the Dr. Zeus book, Green Eggs and Ham. Fanservice 2 has an email mentioning Michael and James, another Jackie Lopez cartoon. The End Part 2, this one has loads of references. I'm going to highlight this cardboard box labelled The Orange, which is a nod to the Valve software video game collection, The Orange Box. The End Part 1, meanwhile, has a plush of Temmie from the video game Undertale. It was probably put there by background artist Temmie Chang, who was a developer for Undertale. Lunatics features this scene of Ed going into a kind of hyper-focus mode, which is a direct reference to a mechanic in the video game Red Dead Redemption. The genie in Mirror Mirror turns this chair into a duck that's dressed in the same outfit as Donald Duck. Powerhead has an end credits scene where Ed turns down Nick Fury from the Avengers franchise. In Fun Dead, Tom's dad is shot by Yogi Bear. He's wearing the same outfit, and his tattoo features the name Cindy, which is the name of Yogi's love interest. Because they're both shorter than 2 minutes, I'm gonna have to exclude the 2 Brandon Turner holiday specials. We gotta draw the line somewhere or we'll be here all day. In Hide and Seek, Matt runs around in front of a picture of the obscure British children's character Penny Crayon. I've never heard of it either. In The Snoga, Tom mentions Ebenezer Scrooge from A Christmas Carol while wearing an outfit that resembles the character.
You know, like Scrooge from A Christmas Carol?
Space Face Part 2 has a room with a few references, including a decommissioned WALL-E bot from WALL-E, while Space Face Part 1 has a room with many references, including the companion cube from the Portal franchise. Hammer and Fail Part 2 has a character called Son Ronson, a parody of Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation, while Hammer and Fail Part 1 has Mr. Potato Head, a real-life toy that features heavily in the Toy Story franchise. I really struggled to find a single non-Eddsworld reference in Santa Claus 3. You could maybe mention the royal speech on Christmas Day, but after resorting to the Eddsworld wiki, I'm pretty confident that Matt's plea to leave Christmas alone is a reference to the iconic Leave Britney Alone viral video.
Can't you just leave Christmas alone? Leave her alone!
In What the Future, Ed uses a time machine labelled Let's Do the Time Warp Again, which is the name of a song in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. In Xmas Day, the gang watches a not-so-subtle parody of Doctor Who, references to which appear throughout Eddsworld history. You can spot an Eat at Joe's sign in Climate Change. This sign has been in a number of Eddsworld videos, and it's a reference to a level in the very first Rayman game. Nice. Movie Makers has 2 references for the price of 1 with this poster for the Battle Royale with Cheese. Battle Royale is a Japanese action movie, while the Royale with Cheese is probably in reference to an iconic discussion at the start of Pulp Fiction.
Royale with cheese.
I'd wager that Santa Claus 2 has the lowest Easter egg per minute ratio of the entire series. As such, I couldn't find a single non-Eddsworld related reference in the entire video. So, the bear traps on the roof are in reference to the popular webtoon Eddsworld, where a character called Tom puts them on his roof in the episode Santa Claus Part 1. Matt Sucks is also quite light on references, however this photo could be a reference to Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th franchise or Stanley Decker from the video game Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That's the character who chases the boys in Halloween 2007, so it's probably the latter. 25 Feet Under the Seat has an extended reference to the Super Mario Bros. Franchise. There's an Italian plumber stuck in the sink and the gang travel through green pipes while a remix from one of the game's tracks plays in the background. Getting into the Tord era, what does and doesn't count as an official Eddsworld video gets kinda hazy, but I'm gonna do my best. Remember that the title needs to contain the word Eddsworld, and the video needs to be longer than 2 minutes in order to count, starting with the episode that inspired this video. Moving Targets parodies a number of war movie cliches, but the whole video can be seen as an extended pastiche of the Stanley Kubrick film Full Metal Jacket.
Your name is now Private Bowling Ball, understand?
From now on, you're Private Snowball. Do you like that name?
Hidden in this crowd shot in spares, you might be able to see Matt dressed as Wally from the children's book Where's Wally? In the first Santa Claus episode, the gang is saved by a fleet of Coca-Cola trucks, accompanied by the song from the iconic Coca-Cola Christmas advert. The 2007 Halloween special ends with the boys being saved by the Ghostbusters. In Ruined, you can see the skeleton of Indiana Jones strangling the skeleton of Short Round in reference to the Temple of Doom. Zombie Attack 3 opens with this loving parody of the MGM Studios logo.
What?
Casino Night is another one which is quite light on references, but the a cappella track in the background is a cover of Casino Night Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm sure that's what inspired this animation. In this world of Ed, the news ticker has a story about Charlie Brown from the Peanuts franchise. In Hello Hellhole, the guys rent a movie produced by a company called Puniversal, which is a very bad pun on the company Universal. And in Zombie Nation, the guys escape using the Bathmobile, which is a parody of Batman's Batmobile. The episode Breakfast has no references. As far as I can tell, there aren't any parodies, Easter eggs, recurring gags, nothing. The lorry is a nondescript, bloody huge truck of bacon. More or less all of the song choices are generic public domain tracks. Yeah, I'm sorry, there's just nothing more to this one. The inscription on Matt's grave in Zombie Attack 2 reads, "I decompose in your general direction," which is a reference to Monty Python and the Holy Grail. A couple of Weeble figures appear behind Tord in Tord's Adventure, and the 2005 Christmas special is one long parody of It's a Wonderful Life. The original version of Zombie Attack opens with the same song that opens Shaun of the Dead, an Edgar Wright movie which influenced Eddsworld in countless ways. At the start of The Dudette Next Door, Ed and Tord are playing the game Worms. In the 2004 Christmas special, the boys give Andy an album called Music, which is a reference to the band Muse. And even though they shouldn't technically count, I'm going to include them anyways. In Ed Again, Ed plays a game from the Legend of Zelda franchise, and in the 2003 animation Ed, presented by Eddsworld, Ed has a wallpaper of Garfield. And that is one reference for almost every Eddsworld episode. There were a couple there that kinda stumped me, Breakfast, Casino Night, and Santa Claus 2 to name a few, but I think it's safe to say that Eddsworld has a lot of references. Ed wore his influences on his sleeve, and the tradition of hiding Easter eggs has been followed by basically every person who's animated for Eddsworld in one way or another. It's a tradition that I built my channel around to begin with. I love seeing references and Easter eggs in Eddsworld, and I can't wait to see many more in the future. Let me know some of your favourite references in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.